Good afternoon all. Welcome to the Spotlight on Current Affairs from Sarat Chandra Academy. Today I am before you with a completely new topic, that is Ramsar Sites from India. So we shall be discussing this topic in detail, that what are Ramsar sites, what is Ramsar Convention, what are wetlands, what are their importance, what are the new sites added in the convention, followed by a question from prelims and mains. So before starting any topic, we must know the relevance of that topic from prelims as well as mains point of view. So this topic of Ramsar sites is important from environment and geography subjects. So we can relate it with GS paper 1 and GS paper 3 of mains. Also not not directly related, but you can also relate this topic from GS paper 4, that is the subject of ethics. We can relate this with environmental ethics. You can use this as a case study or an example in any of the answers of ethics. Now let's start with our topic, that what is the current news, what is the recent context. So recently 3 new Ramsar sites are added in India, and this brings the total number of such sites in India to 85. So now in total we have 85 Ramsar sites in India. What are these Ramsar sites? Means are these some of the wildlife sanctuaries or national parks or lakes? What are these Ramsar sites? So these Ramsar sites are the wetlands of national importance. They are the wetlands of national importance which are established under Ramsar Convention. There is a particular convention which recognizes these type of sites, and they are established as Ramsar sites in any of the countries. Now before going detail in the topic, we must understand the word of wetland, and we must understand what is Ramsar Convention. So before going deep into this convention, let us first discuss that what are wetlands. So it is a definition under this Ramsar Convention only. So according to this definition, these wetlands are defined under variety of criteria. So there are various criteria, like they can be areas of marsh and fen, or they can be natural or artificial, or they can be fresh or brackish water. So there are various criteria based on which wetlands are recognized as Ramsar sites under the convention. So basically you cannot say that only the lakes are categorized under the wetlands in the convention. The Ramsar sites can be lakes, they can be rivers, or they can be part of any wildlife sanctuary or national parks. So basically this was the definition of wetlands. Now as these wetlands are defined by the Ramsar Convention, so let's discuss about the Ramsar Convention. Ramsar Convention is an intergovernmental treaty which was signed on 2nd February 1971. And since this treaty was signed in Ramsar, which is a city in Iran, this was signed in Ramsar, which is a city in Iran, so it is named as Ramsar Convention. Please focus on this date, 2nd February 1971, because now we celebrate 2nd February as Wetlands Day also, just to commemorate that day, because the treaty was signed on 2nd February 1971. Now, so what is basically the function, what is basically the purpose of this treaty? That it encourages the protection and conservation of wetlands all over the world. It encourages the protection and conservation of wetlands all over the world. And there are various criteria. Based on which this convention gives this designation. So there are various criteria which now we will be discussing. See, from exam point of view, I am not saying that these criteria are important or you have to remember all these 11 or 12 criteria, but to understand that since 3 wetlands are recently added, so there must be some criteria, or based on which these are added. So let's discuss some of the criteria. The criteria are divided, like for example, when we say a phrase wetlands of national importance, so importance is from various perspectives. For example, importance from point of view of water birds. For example, importance from point of view of fishes, or for example, importance from point of view of any endemic species or vulnerable or critically endangered species. For example, if we talk about water birds, so the criteria is a wetland can be designated as Ramsar site if it supports more than 20,000 water bird species. So wetland is designated as Ramsar site. Second is wetland, if wetland is important for fishes. So what the criteria says under Ramsar Convention, if a wetland serves as important source as for food, if it is important source of food for fishery, for fishes, for the species of fishes, so we can designate it as a wetland of national importance. Third criteria, if it is important ecosystem for any vulnerable, endangered or critically endangered species. I think a very good example can be example of Sundarbans. Sundarbans are under Ramsar sites in India, and the main species in Sundarban are Bengal tigers. So we can say that Sundarbans were included under the category of Ramsar sites, and Bengal tigers were one of the important criteria to include them under the Ramsar sites, because they are one of the endangered species also. So based on all these criteria, and there are some more criteria also, but basically based on such criteria, any of the wetland is included under the Ramsar site. Now discussing about the Ramsar sites in India and what is the status of Ramsar sites in India. So India joined Ramsar Convention in 1982. Though the treaty was signed in 1971, India joined this convention in 1982. Now the very basic question is, when India joined this convention, so what were those sites which were added, what were the first site under the Ramsar Convention? So the first site, there were two sites, they were Chilka Lake in Orissa and Keoladeo National Park in Rajasthan. So these two sites were the initial sites which were under Ramsar Convention from the side of India. Now today at present, now India have 85 Ramsar sites. Now at present India have 85 Ramsar sites. Okay, and it's not like only a particular region have those Ramsar sites. It's India have variety of regions, right? If we discuss about overall ecosystem of India, so India have variety of geographical regions. For example, India have regions of cold desert also, India have regions of hot desert also, it have regions of coastal areas also, it have regions of mountainous areas also. So in a way we can say in all these regions wetlands are present. It's not like that Chilka Lake was in Orissa, so it was coastal ecosystem, it's in Rajasthan, so it is in desert area. But over a period of time, wetlands were added from all the parts of the India. So we can say that wetlands in India are present in every type of ecosystem. Now coming to our main point, that which are the three Ramsar sites which are recently added in India. So there are three Ramsar sites which are recently added in India, and out of these three Ramsar sites, two are from Tamil Nadu and one Ramsar site is from Madhya Pradesh. So let's start with the Ramsar sites from Tamil Nadu, and our first Ramsar site is Nanjararayan Bird Sanctuary. And this actually this bird sanctuary got its name from the name of a king who was involved in the in repairing this type of wetland. So this bird sanctuary got its name from there. And the special features of this bird sanctuary which are important from prelims perspective also. So most important is this bird sanctuary is built on the banks of river Noyal. On the banks of, because generally UPSC has the tendency to ask such questions, that so and so ecosystem is built on the confluence of which type of rivers, or is built on the bank of which rivers. So I think this is the important point, that it is built on the banks of river Noyal. Second important point is, as we have discussed, that wetlands have to be important for something or the other. So this wetland is important because it serves as home for various species, for various bird species. For example, Eurasian coot. Also, this wetland is important because it serves various migratory birds from the Central Asian Highway. The birds which fly along the Central Asian Highway, it serves as important home from these type of birds also. Also, there are various other advantages, that originally it was used for irrigation purposes, and now it also serves for the local livelihood like fisheries or drinking water purposes. Now coming to second wetland, that is Kazu Valley Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. So from prelims point of view, the important point is this Kazu Valley Sanctuary is located in the Coromandel coast in Tamil Nadu. Now generally we can discuss about two coasts in India. This is Malabar coast, and this is Coromandel coast. So here, somewhere here, Kazu Valley Bird Sanctuary is located. Second important point is, this is one of the largest brackish water wetlands in South India. Focus on this point, it is one of the largest brackish water wetland in South India. So now my question is, which is the largest brackish water wetland in India? So please think about it, which is the largest brackish water wetland? See, the largest brackish water wetland is the one which was added at the beginning in the Ramsar site. So I am giving this hint. So which is that wetland? That wetland is Chilka Lake in Orissa. So Chilka Lake in Orissa is the largest brackish water wetland, and it is one of the largest wetland in South India. Okay, and similar to this wetland also serves as home for various endangered species of birds. For example, greater flamingo. It serves as home for various bird species like greater flamingo. Now we are going to discuss a very important feature about this wetland, that is, this wetland has three parts. Why I am saying this wetland has three parts, and those three parts are, one part of wetland is made from fresh water, one part of wetland is made from sea water, and one part of wetland is made from brackish water. See, I will explain this. Actually, what happens is, see, for example, Kazu Valley Bird Sanctuary is located somewhere here, and this bird sanctuary is connected to Bay of Bengal through Uppu Kulli Creek and Idayan-Thittu estuary. So in a way, this bird sanctuary have confluence of fresh water, brackish water and sea water. How it gets fresh water? It gets fresh water from Kazu Valley Basin. It gets fresh water. From where it gets sea water? It gets sea water from Uppu Kulli Creek. And the source of brackish water is Idayan-Thittu estuary. So we can say this type of wetland has three parts, and all these three parts have their specific importance, which holds significance for variety of bird species. Now coming to our third Ramsar site in India, so it is Tawa Reservoir. See, first we should discuss about Tawa River. Tawa River is the left bank tributary of river Narmada. And this river originates from Mahadev Ranges. This river originates from Mahadev Ranges in Chhindwara district of Madhya Pradesh. So it is left bank tributary of Narmada, and this Tawa Reservoir is built on the confluence of Tawa and Denva rivers. Now, similar to previous two wetlands, it also serves as grounds for migratory birds, wintering grounds for migratory birds. Also, it helps in the drinking water needs and fishing, and for the local communities. Now, having discussed about the three reservoirs, we must discuss about the importance of wetlands. So, the most important function of this wetland is the regulation of climatic conditions. See, when I talk about climatic conditions, basically I am talking about the emission of carbon dioxide, because various factors can be responsible for climatic conditions, but recently we are witnessing the issue of global warming, and the major gas responsible for global warming is carbon dioxide. So how wetlands help in this? Inside a wetland we have variety of vegetation, variety of plants, and we have certain kind of soil inside a wetland. So these plants and soil helps in the sequestration of carbon dioxide. The second point is it helps in the reduction of greenhouse gases. So as per a report, there is a particular peatland in Congo Basin, and this peatland helps in the sequestration of 29 billion ton of carbon dioxide. Please note this point, 29 billion ton of carbon dioxide is around 3 times of CO2 emitted over a period of 3 years. So this is the importance of wetland. It can sequester major greenhouse gases. Also, it can be important for a variety of ecosystems, for variety of avifauna, for animals and birds. Now, let's discuss about the threat to the wetlands. So, according to Global Wetland Outlook, which was first released in 2018, According to Global Wetland Outlook, which was first released in 2018, around 35% of the wetlands are lost between the period of 1970 and 2015. Also, according to a report, the wetlands are the world's most threatened habitats. They are even most threatened than the natural forest on the earth. So, they are the most threatened wetlands. The various threats which the wetlands face are the following. For example, the unsustainable development. So, what do we mean by unsustainable development? For example, in urban planning, we don't plan in this way that wetlands can also be conserved and infrastructure can also be built. The example we can give here is about the Belando Lake of Bangalore, which has been encroached upon, and the infrastructure is built over the regions of this lake. So, one of the important reason is the unsustainable development. Similarly, we can discuss about the pollution, about the invasive species and the climate change, which we have recently seen that the emission of CO2 and methane has increased to this much amount that the capacity of wetlands are overreached. So, in a way, these are some of the reasons for the threats of wetlands. Now, having discussed about this topic in detail, let us discuss some of the important PYQs based on this topic of wetlands. So, our question is, consider the following pairs. Now, in these pairs, we have to find that particular wetland is built on confluence of which rivers. So, first point is Harike wetland is built on the confluence of Beas and Satluj river. Second point is Keoladeo Ghana National Park is built on the confluence of Banas and Chambal rivers. Third point is Koleru Lake is built on the confluence of Musi and Krishna river. So, I will give you 5 seconds to decide the answer, then we will discuss the solution. So, please take 5 seconds for this. Now, let's discuss the solution. So, talking about Harike wetland are the wetlands in Punjab, in the state of Punjab, and they are built on the confluence of Beas and Satluj river. So, this pair is correct. Talking about Keoladeo Ghana National Park, so Keoladeo Ghana National Park is in the state of Rajasthan, and it is built on the confluence, it is not built on the confluence of Banas and Chambal. The major river responsible for this is Gambhir river. So this option is incorrect. Third is Koleru river, Koleru lake. It is present in the state of Andhra Pradesh and is on the confluence of Krishna and Godavari rivers. So this option is also correct. So we can easily, through this information, we can easily eliminate these two pairs, and our answer will be 1 only, because only pair 1 is correct. Now coming to this mains question. So our first question is, what is wetland? Second is, explain the Ramsar concept of wise use in the context of wetland conservation. And third is, cite 2 examples. So we shall be discussing this thing in a concise manner. So we shall be introducing our topic in a way that we can introduce our topic with current news only, that recently 3 Ramsar sites were added and this took the number to 85. So you can introduce your answer in this way. Now when we talk about body, so first of all you have to discuss the definition of wetland. So in previous slide only we discussed the definition which was given by Ramsar Convention. So the same definition we can use here. So you can define what is wetland. Now the question is, explain the concept of wise use. So according to Ramsar Convention, the wise use means that it is established fact that wetlands provides numerous benefits to human community. It is established fact. So what the wise use concept says, that if it provides numerous benefits, it's your responsibility also to conserve those wetlands so that there is balance, so that there is sustainable development. So in this you can provide examples, that for example wetlands are the source of water. For example, they are source of water and human community use fresh water for the production of rice. So if we are using the water of wetland for the production of rice, you must also have the responsibility that you do not over exploit that water. So this is the concept of wise use which the convention talks about. Now third point is, cite 2 examples of Ramsar sites. So you can give recent example only. Out of 3 sites you can write any 2 examples about the Ramsar sites. And for conclusion, I think for conclusion it's very good, you can quote the SDG. You can quote the SDGs of SDG 13, 14 and 15 for climate change, life below water and life on land. So I think these SDGs can easily conclude the answer. So that's it from my side. Thank you.